Welcome back to the podcast where I'm Duran,
I'm Mike.
I'm Michael Senior.
and this is Before We Forget. So, Mike, you want to rehash the question?
Yeah. But before we do, I just want y'all to understand that we have my father in the building here. We had my mother in the building before. We got my father, pastor of Greater Mount Gilead Missionary Baptist Church in Galveston, Texas. And our question today: should you talk about past relationships with your new spouse?
Or significant other for those that are not married?
That is a very interesting topic. You could go both ways. You could and you should. I wouldn't,
Why?
because then they would maybe think that you're trying to compare them with your previous or your last spouse or significant other. So I wouldn't chase that dog.
If that ain't the most father like son answer I heard in my life, 'cause that's the same thing you said. No, we not letting that slide. 'Cause you got to know, I got PTSD. I got some damage, emotional damage. I need you to know that sometimes there be stuff that's wrong with me. I ain't saying it to like put you down, but I'm saying it so you can know, and then we can work past it. So that's a me thing. I just feel like you should say something now. As far as how deep you should go into that, that's a different ball game.
I'm of the belief that you don't need to bring up your past ex or spouse or whoever in order to get your point across. And I think I said it in the first episode that we did originally, and I still stand on that you can have a issue with, or you can say that you don't like the issue without comparing it to the last person. Like, you don't necessarily need to say, you remind me of my ex when you do this. You can say, I don't like when you do this. Can you not do that?
Yeah, but when you say it like that, that's saying it like I'm trying to gaslight somebody. Me saying it and then how you said it versus the way I'm talking about, two different things.
Well, how would you? Would you?
Because as an adult, if somebody triggers you, we should be able to say something to them, right? Let's start there. So if I do something that triggers you, i.e., we setting up the podcast, I unplugged the USB from the computer. It bothered Michael. Michael didn't say that, but I know Michael. It bothered him.
No, it triggered me for a second.
It triggered you. He was already frustrated. But I was like, it's cool. We'll get it fixed. No problem. But I ain't take it personal when you said you unplugged the USB device and now it's not picking up the other devices. I was like, yeah, I did that. Right? We grown ups, right?
Okay.
So
where
you
going
said
with it?
that.
Yeah.
And I took it, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So if we adults and I'm able to tell you that something you're doing triggered me or it bothered me, that's the same thing I'm doing in a relationship. So we pretty close, closer than close. But in a relationship, when you're close to somebody, I should be able to vocalize that something bothered me without it about you making it about you. Because now if you say, well, why are you comparing me to X, Y, and Z because they in the past? I'm not. I'm just telling you that it bothered me. And that'd probably be the only time I bring it up.
But those are two different things. When you're saying that something I did bother you, that's what I was saying. You're addressing the issue that I did. But when you say something I did bother you because it reminds you of an ex, why do you need to bring the ex into this conversation at all? I don't think you ever need to mention the ex unless you're out in public and you see an ex and you're like, yeah, that's my ex.
Yeah, but you just remixed what I said. I said I pointed out the USB thing with us because we're adults and you told me something I did bothered you.
Yeah, but you didn't say, hey, that bothered me because this other Michael I know did that in high school all the time.
But I was using that as a reference point to, as adults, we should be able to say something bothered you. So if I did something to bother Pastor Mike, he gonna tell me that, right?
Yeah.
And
he definitely will.
I'm gonna say something and be like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't know I did that, because he's an adult. But I'm saying when you're in a relationship, it's the same thing. We're adults, If you step on my foot, I'm like, that hurt it. And they're like, oh, okay. So if I can't tell you, oh, you hurt me, regardless of how you did it or something's bothering me, then what are we doing?
But
I'm not saying bring it up every single time. I'm saying because I can say it once. I'm not comparing. I ain't saying go into a spiel. Oh my God, Brittany broke my heart. She cheated on me, cut up my drawers, and put bleach on it, did this and that, and you acting just like that, and it's triggering me. I'm just saying, hey, I don't like it when you yell at me because somebody yelled at me in the past. Let's just try to talk about it like civil adults, you know? You ain't got to go into detail. And
but you just did
break it
exactly.
down.
You
not
just did
answering-
exactly what I said.
But he's not answering the question. You beating all around it because it was asked, would you bring up your ex in the relationship you're in now?
Oh, I answered it, yeah.
And so, no, you didn't answer that as far as, let's say like this, if you with your wife and then you and your wife sitting down, y'all having dinner, and then you say, you know, my ex-wife used to do that same thing you doing, or my ex-wife, I remember when she took me over here. Why would you be bringing up your ex-wife with a situation like that?
See, that's the thing. I'm not saying that. Y'all saying it like I'm just bringing it up when we around the house. Like, oh, my ex used to take her shoes off like that. My ex used to chew her food on the left
That's
side
what
of her
the
mouth.
question was about.
I did answer it. I said, yes, I would bring it up, but I said, I'm not going to bring it up in the way that you both are saying. I'm saying, I'm glad y'all said it because this has already happened. When me and my wife, we got into it, it happens. We was talking, blah, blah, blah. She got to doing something extra and whatever, and I had to stop and be like, oh, wait a minute, hold up. Don't do that because, so-and-so happened, whatever. She said sorry. I said, cool, not comparing y'all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that jacked me up. And when you said that, it just took me someplace we ain't even trying to go to for what we talking about, and we let that be that. That was it. So I was wrong for telling my wife that she hurt my feelings because something hurt me, and I didn't quite get over that. I'm not comparing her to somebody that was in a situation before me because we married now. But I just told her, hey, that hurt my feelings, this is why it hurt my feelings because she was like, well, I didn't think that nothing of it because of how I said it to you. And I'm like, nah, but it's when you said that. It was me. I just went somewhere. I shouldn't have did that. I'm sorry. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you just walking around the house 24/7 accusing your significant other of being like somebody else. Then that is something that's punctual. You gaslighting your partner. That's like toxic. Why would you say something like that? I would never do that. That's completely two different things in my mind.
Okay, but we're also not. I'm also not saying that you're walking around the house doing it 24/7. I'm saying that there's never a need to bring up that ex in a conversation if your spouse does something that you dislike.
Well, we're going to have to agree to disagree because I've already been in that situation.
But I'm saying, you flash back to a situation that you had with the previous ex, right?
Yeah.
You could have had the same impact had you said, hey, can you not do that because I don't like that.
Okay.
I have history with that.
Let me elaborate with that. I said that, and then she said, why? Was I not supposed to? I was supposed to lie to my wife and tell her that the reason that triggered me is because what?
I just don't like it.
Okay, but that's you. So the question was, would I? I said, yeah, me.
No, that's your answer.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
That's not gonna work.
There should be
that.
enough respect between you and your wife that if you say you don't like something and she asks why and you don't want to elaborate, you don't like it. She should have enough respect.
Right, but why would I not elaborate? So because I elaborated, I was wrong for telling her that. I'm asking you, was I wrong for elaborating? She asked me why. This conversation literally it already happened, said and done.
I know. I get it.
It's
I just
said and done. I don't think that it's as deep as y'all making it. It can't because this happens in normal everyday conversations. This is not just a one of. It's people who have those situations, and it's just saying, hey, chill. That bothered me, and then you leave it alone. You don't keep bringing it back up and rehashing it or keep saying every single thing that hurts somebody because that's hurtful. Because then that your partner would start to feel like you're comparing them or why are you thinking about them? But then it's like, why would you go that far when I'm just telling you my feelings was hurt? Regardless of if I said that hurts my feelings, don't do it, or could you not? And then if somebody asks you why, then I elaborate and say, oh, well, that's why you know, it's not a big deal, whatever. And it's like, oh, cool. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have did that. I won't try to do that. It don't matter. And it's like, I'm not saying that's you, but I'm saying, you know, that hurt me.
Okay. And Dad, do you agree?
I still feel as if he didn't answer the question right.
But do you agree?
Well, I know I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it, but that's his opinion. Mine, I wouldn't do it. I feel as if you got feelings, true enough, but I think also you got to look at her feelings as well too. She might not let you know, but you might have hurted her feelings by even saying what you said. Did you ever consider that?
Oh, I absolutely considered that. But then to me, that's selfish because now if I said you hurt my feelings and somehow it turns around to me trying to make you feel better, how are my feelings being taken into account?
Well, what about her feelings? It can't just be about you.
Right, but my feelings were hurt, so I was offended. So when someone offends you,
So you gonna hurt her feelings because your feelings hurt.
no, it's not about me intentionally hurting somebody's feelings. It's saying it's two people in a relationship. I'm not just gonna feel one way just because if I'm telling you you hurt my feelings and then you turn around and say something where I'm trying to make you feel better, but you're not trying to make me feel better. And what world is that right?
Made her feel better. I mean, you could have told her she hurted your feelings without bringing your ex.
Right, but she asked me.
But that don't mean you have to tell them because they asked.
Right, so then I'm lying.
You have to remember, that she's the weaker vessel. You ought to be able to dwell with your wife with knowledge. You ought to know what you can do and what you can't do. And I just felt as if that was something because they asked you. So let's use this then, for instance, since you want to say they asked you. If she was to tell you, oh, you ain't got to get me nothing for my birthday. I'm all right and this or that. You're not going to get her nothing for her birthday?
That's different. Because I know my wife.
No, I'm using that as an analogy to say, yes, okay, you're going to go and get her something for her birthday.
Yeah, I'm going to get her
something. You know your wife.
Yeah.
Then if you knew your wife, then you didn't have to bring that up and tell her that. You could have did just like Mike said. You could have said because it just hurted my feelings. I really appreciate it.
That's what I said at first. And then she asked me to elaborate. So I told her because we have a relationship.
You wanted to tell her
I didn't want to tell her that.
Yeah, you wanted to tell her. Really.
Why would I want to tell her that?
Because
that means that I'm intentionally trying to hurt my partner. I am not. I literally just told being vulnerable and being open because I wasn't open about nothing in my life. So being married and being with her is a whole different experience. I don't tell nobody nothing. I don't do anything. The only person I tell stuff to is Michael or very select few people. So opening up and telling somebody, oh, this what you did hurt me, and then being held responsible for explaining or telling myself because now I'm going above and beyond, and that's something I just don't do. So I don't feel like I was wrong in telling her that because her feelings wasn't hurt.
See that you don't feel like you was wrong, but if you was to ask 10 other guys, and if 8 of them said you was wrong, you still gonna feel you wasn't wrong.
Nope.
Well, we done dove deep today. And this week we are revisiting some old topics and maybe some new topics while Pastor's in town. So y'all like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what y'all think. And for those who have commented already, y'all stick around. We're going to be back.